Just waiting for a couple of more folks. I'm beyond myself right now. Like, I need to be rageful with folks. Lord have mercy. So, I don't know if it's just me or if you guys are following what's going on. This was one of those, I'm already home on a Friday night and I had to put my hijab back on. So when Linda has to put her hijab back on, that means that we have some serious things to talk about. And I am not sure if people are really paying attention to what's going on. Just within the past probably like 30 minutes or so, a lot of crazy things are happening on your watch, and I am so beyond myself right now. Like my blood is like boiling in my veins right now. So there is a Category 4 hurricane happening down south in places like Texas, potentially hitting places like New Orleans. And shout out to our families down there. Please let us know what you need. We got you. We pray that you're safe and that nobody is hurt. And that should be the priority of our country right now. We actually have a hurricane that is at Category 4, and we do not have a leader of FEMA, which is the Federal Emergency Management Organization that's supposed to be preparing for our fellow Americans. Like, we're supposed to have somebody that's supposed to be strategically figuring out how to help our people in places like Texas and New Orleans and other places that could be hit or are being hit in the process in places like places down south, like by this hurricane. So your president did not, he actually has kept the checkpoints on the borders open and making people work because he's more worried about terrorizing immigrants at the border than he's actually worried about actual American citizens being in the crosshairs of this hurricane. So that's one outrageous problem. So we don't have a head of FEMA, and your president was asked about Texas and what message he had. He was like, good luck. Why? Because he was too busy pardoning one of the most evil human beings in this country. I'm sorry. Sheriff Joe Arpaio, or ex-Sheriff Joe Arpaio from Arizona, is an evil human being. He was like, it wasn't accused of, he was found guilty of terrorizing immigrants, in particularly Latinos. He literally used to put tents outside of the jails in 120-degree weather in Arizona and had the people, human beings, sleeping outside in these tents. He was negligent in investigating cases of sexual abuse amongst children. Like, the guy is like the evilest. Like, if this guy would go to jail, I'm not even going to tell you what would happen to him if he went to jail. But your president just pardoned on a Friday night Joe Arpaio. Like, I kind of knew it was coming. I didn't know it was coming this soon, but I want you to understand the type of precedent that this sets when the president of the United States of America takes the time out to pardon a criminal who tortured people on this U.S. soil. Like, Sheriff Arpaio is an outrageously evil human being, and that's what your president is doing. Oh my God, I can't like put this together. And then in the past, like just not that long ago, he also found time to sign the banning of transgender folks in the military. So now that's official. That wasn't just him talking about it, or wasn't just a leaked memo. It is facts going after another segment of our community. Now we know his positions on undocumented immigrants and immigration, and we have already heard rumors this week that DACA, which is a Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, is also potentially on the chopping block. That would mean that 800,000 undocumented immigrants, our neighbors, members of our families, people who were able to get some sort of legalization, work permits so that they can work and help their families, people who are college students, some of whom have graduated college, are working in our country. He is basically, the people around him are potentially going to put that program in danger. Like, that's what's going to happen. And when you put 800,000 undocumented immigrants who have DACA in danger, then by extension, you also impact the families that they come from, who now the government has their information. So when you apply for DACA, you're giving all your home address, you're giving everything. And we have that potentially is a program that could be on the chopping block, and these millions of our fellow Americans could be impacted. Then we have North Korea is firing missiles. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, this is not even a joke anymore. And it's not even something that we should be just thinking, oh, well, why are you so surprised, Linda? This is just what this president is all about. He's pretty outrageous. You know, you saw him on, last week on his speech. Sisters and brothers, the time is now. I want to know what everybody's ready to do. Who are you going to call? What people we need to stand up against this president for pardoning a criminal that has tortured people on this U.S. land, a man who just banned a whole group of people from serving in the military. Whether you agree with the military or you don't agree, or you're pro-war or anti-war, I don't even care about that right now. When you can basically legalize discrimination against a whole group of people, that means that you are basically saying that we can legalize discrimination against a whole bunch of other groups of people. And I am sitting here enraged. Like, I'm not even speaking straight or articulate in the way that I want to, because I literally am outraged. Like my blood's boiling right now, and I don't know what to tell you. We need to do something. And people keep saying, "Don't worry, Linda, he's going to get impeached really soon." I don't know what soon means to you, but soon is a long time for someone who's undocumented. Soon is a long time for someone who's transgender. Soon is a long time for these communities who are being targeted by this administration. The good news is, and there's always some good news, is that Sebastian Gorkas, who's a known neo-Nazi, has resigned from the White House. And he says it's because people who are from the MAGA movement, the Make America Great movement, are not being treated right. So we have Bannon's out, we have Gorkas out. We still have one more to go, Stephen Miller, another neo-Nazi, racist, Islamophobe who has to go too. But you know what? They're all racist. They're all homophobes. I mean, we have nobody in the administration who is, really on our side, or at least on the side of the people that care about justice. So I hope people are paying attention to what is happening around you. This all happened on a Friday night. You have a Category 4 hurricane. DACA is on the chopping blocks. Millions of undocumented immigrants will be impacted by that. Sign a transgender ban was official, signed today, like a half an hour ago. You have the pardoning of the most evil criminal. Like, you don't understand. This is a guy who basically thinks racial profiling and stopping people because they're brown or black is legal. Like, he did that, and he does not care for the rule of law. And this is a man that our president spent and found some time to actually pardon tonight on Friday night. I want you to be outraged. I want you to go online and be outraged. I want you to call the White House and let them know that you're outraged. I want you to call your members of Congress. I want to know what your members of Congress think about what just happened. Are they cool with that we just pardoned a criminal? Like, we are in a very dire situation, and it is not about whether you agree with someone's politics or you don't agree with someone's politics. I'm talking about people's livelihood. I'm talking about people's lives. So I felt like I had to put my hijab on and come tell you how absolutely outraged that I am right now. Like, I can't find the right words, and I don't know what else I have to say or what else other people have to say to you to understand, like, how much we need people to be active and engaged right now. Like, I need you to pick up those phones. I need you to call people. I need you to tweet at people. I need you to reach out to your undocumented friends. I mean, people that you know that may have DACA, immigrant communities. Call people up and say, don't worry, I got you. There are people literally stressed out, people having panic attacks. I had people sending me text messages telling me that I'm having trouble breathing. I mean, people are so stressed out about what could happen. We have an administration that could literally do something like in 5 minutes. Like, when we heard Donald Trump say that Joe Arpaio should not worry, he's going to be okay. That was like a couple of days ago. We didn't know that he was going to pardon him literally within a matter of days. So with DACA, this could end tomorrow. It could end tomorrow night. It could end on Monday. We need to stand up and get ourselves together. We need all hands on deck. We need people calling up their members of the Senate, Congress, you need to make sure that these people hear from you. You need to call out your friends, make sure that people are okay. It's like, this is so outrageous right now. And to be honest with you, don't put your hopes in anybody right now. I do not have my hopes in any, I don't know if people think, I don't know, you think the DNC is going to save us? Is that what someone's saying? That's not going to happen. The DNC is not going to do anything for you if you don't do for yourself. The ACLU is going to sue the pants off of everybody, and that's awesome. But sometimes these lawsuits could last for years. Lawsuits don't save people's lives in the immediate. So we need to make sure that we're supporting the organizations that are suing the pants off the government as they violate our constitutional rights, as they engage in what I believe to be sometimes criminal behavior. But at the end of the day, it's in your hands. So you got to make sure that you're holding your elected officials accountable, that you're making your voice heard, and that you're not just sitting in your living room right now being like, oh my God, this Arpaio thing is outrageous, or that's too bad, DACA's going to go. There has to be public dissent. You have to engage in that right now. You have to believe that you have power. You can't underestimate the power that you have as a person. And I want to say to my undocumented sisters and brothers, I mean, you are our families. This is not about, oh, you contribute billions of dollars. I hate when people in the immigrant rights movement start monetizing immigrants and undocumented people. That, just so folks know, and don't be mad at me, but that really drives me crazy. Undocumented people should be treated with dignity and respect because they're human beings, not because they make our country money. That is not why we should be passing comprehensive immigration reform, because we benefit from people financially. Undocumented people are here for a reason, and if they could have stayed in their home countries, they would have never came here in the first place. So they deserve to live amongst us. They are people, they are human beings, they are part of our families, they are our neighbors, our children go to school with them or with their children, and we need to make sure that we protect the most vulnerable people in our society. And right now, undocumented people are definitely a targets, and we need to make sure that they're protected. So all I'm saying to you today is that there is a lot of stuff that's happening, and it happens in a matter of an hour, and you got to keep up with what's going on, and you got to make sure that you're prepared. If you hear that there's a rally to protect DACA, show the hell up to that rally. You can't just be mad in your house, because that's not helping anybody. If you hear that there's a petition to sign it, send it, call your elected officials. Whatever someone asks you to do right now, you have to understand it is a matter of survival for people. This is not about whether you like the president or you don't like the president, or I don't care about what your commentary is. Like, we're pretty much all on the same page. What's happening is absolutely outrageous, but you got to do something. In this country, you have a lot of privileges that a lot of other people don't have. And I already know that. No one needs to tell me that. The fact that we have the opportunity to hold our elected officials accountable, the fact that we have the opportunity to be out in these streets, to organize, to mobilize, is something that a lot of people don't have access to. So the fact that you have that right here, and a lot of us are not using that right, it really bothers me. And it bothers the very people who need you and need your voices right now. So all I'm saying to you today is, our president is trying to pull a fast one on you. He waited till you were all distracted with the hurricane, and some of you are distracted with Taylor Swift, who's appropriating Black culture, which, you know, don't get me started on Taylor Swift right now. But my point is, I just got distracted by Taylor Swift. You're not supposed to be distracted by Taylor Swift. You're supposed to be focused on this idea that you have a racist, fascist, misogynist, sexist in the White House who just pulled a fast one on you on a Friday night, pardoned a criminal, signed a transgender ban on the military, while all of you were trying to figure out what you were going to do for your Friday night. My Friday night, I was home early, had my hijab off, I put it back on so I can have this therapy session with all of you. So please call undocumented folks, tell them that you're here, tell them that you love them, tell them that you are ready to protect them. Call your trans friends and tell them, don't worry, we got you, we're all in this together. Let people hear from you. Let people know that you see them, that you hear them, that you know that they're in pain, and that they're worried what else there is to come, because there's always something else that comes. And when it comes for these communities, just know that you are going to be next. I don't care who you are, whether you are a woman, whether you are a Muslim, whether you are a Mexican, whether you're a Black. I mean, there are communities in this country that will tell you that we've been on the chopping block. We've been targets of the state. And now you have a state or government that is overtly targeting us in a way that we haven't seen, in such a fast way, like altogether, like they're trying to create chaos and confusion And we just want everyone, at least I want everyone to not be caught in the type of distractions that they're putting us through every single day. I didn't forget about Russia. Like, I'm not saying I'm distracted by it, but I also didn't forget about it. And this president is distracting us day in and day out, and we will not be distracted. So stay powerful, stay united, stay focused. Do not let these things slip us by, because we're already talking about the next thing tomorrow. Right now, top priority for us, and people say, but where do we focus? I say the focus right now in the next few days is always, the focus every day is to end white supremacy. We all are on the same page as that. Ending programs like DACA are rooted in white supremacy. Mass deportations of undocumented people is rooted in white supremacy. Even trans ban in the military is rooted in white supremacy. Everything that you see that is happening is rooted in white supremacy. So stay focused. Let's protect our undocumented sisters and brothers. Let us keep watching. Let us, Monday morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, wake up and start calling your members of Congress. Like, make sure their phones don't stop ringing, letting them know that they must protect our undocumented immigrant. I am not afraid. I'm ready to do whatever undocumented folks tell me to do. I'm here. I'm ready. I hope that you are ready too. And that you have to understand, at the end of the day, no one's going to do for you if you don't do for yourself. And we have to do for our people and those that we love, because no one's going to do for our people and those that we love. So stay in this. I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to not be outraged. But to be honest with you, and I said this to you months ago, right after the elections, that the only way we will survive under this administration is if we wake up every morning in perpetual outrage. I am outraged like every single day, like literally, like I am in perpetual outrage, which allows me to stay focused and allows me to continue the work that I do, that I'm willing to do, that I don't have to do, but I do because I love the people who I organize with and for. And I hope that you love your country enough that you want your country to be the greatest nation on earth, but you want your country to be better than the country that we live in right now. And if you want it to be better, if that's what you hope for your children and your families, I hope that you're not waiting for someone else to make it better. And you better believe that this administration is not going to make it better. And if you're going to wait for 3 more years or 3 years and 4 months until you so-called get another president and think that it's going to end 3.5 years from now, it could get so bad 3.5 years from now that we will not be able to recover from where we are right now. So you got to focus now. You got to make change now. You got to step up now. You got to work now, and love and protect one another. We will not be able to love and protect one another if we do not know one another. So know your neighbors, who lives on your street, who do you work with, who do you go to school with, and let's start doing this work and do it boldly together. I appreciate you all. Please send me any information, DM me around stuff that we could do for folks in the South around the hurricane, because it seems like our president doesn't give a damn about our fellow Americans. But you know what? We care about each other, and we're willing to do what we need to do for each other. So stay focused. I don't know what to tell you people, but I just want you to know that your sister from Brooklyn, New York is sitting here, and I am absolutely so outraged about what's happening. And I hope that you join me in the outrage that I have, that the moment that we find ourselves in, where our fellow Americans are about to be hit by a hurricane and our president is pardoning criminals. Like, I can't get over it. North Korea is firing missiles, people, just so you know, right now, as I'm sitting here talking to you all. And DACA and our undocumented sisters and brothers are literally sitting around the table in their living rooms, in their homes, on their dining tables, thinking about what their future looks like, what the destiny of their families are. No one in this country should be living in fear right now, but they are. And we have to do something about that. So I'm going to go think about what it is that we need to do, talk to some people. And when I find out what people want us to do, I hope that you join me to support those who have always been on the front lines protecting you. And I just want to say this about folks in the undocumented movement, Dreamers in particular. Every time I felt reluctant to go back out into the movement, every time I felt a little bit of fear creeping up in my heart, I have to say that Dreamers always have given me the courage when I needed it most. Watching people who are undocumented, who are the most vulnerable of us, our society, who could be deported at any moment and sent back to countries that they may have forgotten because they came here as young people, and to see them, chaining themselves to the White House, doing some of the most boldest actions I have ever seen in my lifetime, and watching them be out there undocumented and unafraid. They have given me courage so many times over the last years. And I want them to know that people like me and activists and organizers like me are who I am today and have the courage that I have today because of the bold action of undocumented immigrants and dreamers. You are why I am courageous. And when I feel like I'm not courageous, I remember you, and that courage is reinstilled in my heart. So I love you all, and let's stay united and let's stay focused, and I'll come back with some more action items for you all. But for now, love each other, reach out to each other, ask about each other, because if we don't ask about each other, we don't love each other, no one will love us. So I'll talk to you guys soon.